Mail call, a couple of new tools, and maybe a little bit of normal going on here. Hi, I'm Ron Paulk, and this is the Smart Wood Shop. I decided to pick up a couple of new tools. I'm working on a project. One of the projects is I'm building myself a new compact bench called the Smart Compact Bench. I picked up some plywood. You saw that in a video last week. So I'm looking forward to getting started on that. So there was a tool that I wanted, and then also another tool that I ended up needing to modify the blocks that Colin sent me. I ended up using a big grinder bit and a drill to make the other one a little larger, and I didn't do a really good job. So I decided that there was another tool that I used to have, and I decided to get another one. So the normal part of this, which was kind of exciting, was I went onto Amazon, I found the tools that I wanted, and they were showing 3 to 4 weeks before I'd receive them, and they were prime. So that was kind of what I had been looking at and thinking, well, okay, that's what it is. But I went online and I checked a couple of the local big box stores, Home Depot and Lowe's, and one of them had them to order, but had neither of the two tools. I'd have to order them, and store pickup was just about as long as getting them on Amazon. So it was a little better price on Amazon. So I just went ahead and placed the order and thought, well, I'll just wait until they show up. Well, 2 days after I ordered the tools, I got a notice that I was going to get them by the end of the day. They were being delivered that day. They were out for delivery. So that was the bit of normal. That was kind of back to normal. So that was pretty exciting. They still show, if I go to order them today, they still show this long time period, 3 to 4 weeks before I can get them. But again, I got them in 2 days, normal prime delivery. So pretty excited about that. So what did I get here in mail call? Dremel 8220. This is their heavy duty cordless Dremel, and it's a kit. And the DeWalt plunge base for that new cordless router that I showed you in a previous video. So the purpose of this Dremel, I've used these for years. The version that I had was corded, and I ended up, when I got rid of a lot of tools, that was one of the tools I knew that I would replace with the cordless version. I initially looked at DeWalt's cutout tool for drywall, the one that you put a bit in and it'll take an 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch, and you can, when you're hanging drywall, it cuts out the outlets and does all your cutting. And there was some information online that you could use that as kind of a Dremel type tool. But when I looked at the reviews and the comments on that, one of the things was that the DeWalt version is a little bit larger and doesn't have a speed control, and that really a Dremel tool being smaller, speed control, gave you more precision. And I've used these over the years for lots and lots of things. They have little sanders and little buffing wheels and cut-off wheels and bits and grinder stones. Can use them for getting tile out. If you got a difficult piece of tile you're trying to remove, it'll cut the grout lines. But one of the things I use it for, have used it for over the years, is when I'm installing door hardware, making slight adjustments to the striker plates and stuff, grinding just a little bit when I need to. That was really one of the uses that I used it for a lot. So I knew I'd be replacing this tool. So I got the 8220. Don't have any experience with it. It's still in the box. But you know, a lot of experience with Dremel, and so no problem there. But I went with the kit that they offered that had 2 batteries. I always like to have at least one backup battery in any corded situation, because no matter how big the battery is and how much charge it has, at some point you're working along and the battery's going to die and you want to keep working. So the second battery is always kind of critical. This kit was $114, and that included the extra battery, the charger, and a little kit of parts and pieces, as well as the case that it comes in. And they offered this same tool for about $80, $79. It's the same Dremel. It comes with 1 battery, and I still think it comes with a few of the cutters and sanders, but not as many. So I looked at what it had to offer, and it seemed to be a better value. It was a few dollars more, but it seemed to be a better value. And the big box store that I looked at, they did have 1 in stock, but it was the one with only a single battery, and also it was $10 more than I could have gotten on Amazon. So all in all, this was my best option. So what do I got in here? So, got the Dremel tool itself. Seems like it's a little larger than the corded one I had, but still looks pretty good. Nice grip on it. Looks like it's got a, not sure what that's for. I'll have to look at the instructions on this. One of the other things that I liked about this one that my other one didn't have is that I had a little wrench, and this one actually, I believe, yeah, it does have the little wrench, but it's not necessary because it's got a lock on the so you can lock the spindle, and then you can turn this by hand. So that's kind of nice toolless change, and it's also got speed control. It also has lights to show me once it's turned on how strong the battery is. And then a second battery, 12 volt. And it has a guide, so if you need to keep things flush when you're cutting, you can put it right up against your cut. Charger. This was the one big negative, and the reason I looked hard into the DeWalt brand was I didn't want to add another battery. I had started this whole cleanup tool process going cordless to go from 6 batteries, which I had before, down to, I wanted to go to 1, but that wasn't possible because my number 1 choice of using Festool, if Festool made everything I needed in cordless, then I would go that route. But they don't really, Festool is more high-end finish, precision tools, and I need, have the other side, rough carpentry, framing, demolition, things like that. And so I chose the DeWalt brand. So that meant I had 2 battery systems. And then when I looked at this, I thought, well, this is a 3rd battery. I'm back to a 3rd charger. But again, I couldn't get this to be, I think this is one of the better tools for this type of work. So it meant that I did have to add a 3rd battery and a 3rd charger. So that is one drawback. And then I got a little kit. I'll get a bunch more. This is just kind of a starter kit, and I'm not a case guy. I know that a lot of people like to keep their stuff kind of organized in cases. They don't work for me. So I'll most likely, I'll set this up in the trailer permanently, and I'll have the batteries stored with all my batteries, and then I'll just put this, a kit, and probably have a bigger kit I'll drop in with my other cutters and grinder wheel things, and then I'll just throw this in a bin, so I'll just be able to grab it out. Now this I have not seen in person, so I did as much research online as I could. My reason for wanting to get the plunge base was when I was doing my cutting with the router, I want to use it for cutting out, making some of my patterns for my circle cutting, and also some of my cutouts for when I make my bench and stuff. I'm thinking about trying this for that instead of my larger Festool one. And the problem with the fixed base is then I have to unlock it and then kind of twist it in while it's running to get a little deeper, because obviously the cuts when I'm pattern cutting, I do more than one pass to make the final cut. I don't plow through the whole thing, so it's a start with a very shallow cut to get a nice cut on the top, and then a little deeper, and then the last cut I try to make it a real shallow cut too, just get a good cut through the bottom. And so having to unlock that and turn it, it's not designed to work that way. So I thought, we'll see if this works out. And the other thing is, this has a base on it that will work with the bushings. In fact, I want to test that. That was one of the questions I had. Yeah, so the bushing does fit. So I'll be able to use that for my pattern cutting. Now, one of the things on using this router, I can't use a 1/2 inch. It doesn't have a 1/2 inch collet, so I'm going to drop down to 1/4. 90% of what I do, I like I use these upcut spiral bits, and I like the 1/2 inch. They just seem to hold up better. They're more stable. And sometimes when I push too hard with these, I've snapped these a few times where I've never done that with a 1/2 inch. But on the other side, when I am cutting with a 1/4 inch versus 1/2, I'm cutting way less material, so it does take less power, and it can cut a little smoother. So I'll just be a little more careful with it. So it's kind of nice. It's got a lever. So just with a thumb push, I can push it down to the depth that I want. It does have a depth gauge, one that you can set, zero out, and then lock in. And then it's got what I like that my Festool also has is that it's got this dial-in depth here. And so what I'm able to do is set this up so that I can start it on a depth for just the initial cut, and then I can set it up for the final cut, and then in the process I can just move that around to the final depth, but then just not go all the way down, make another pass, and then finally push it through and make the final pass. So it makes that a little quicker. I don't have to think about how deep I'm cutting. So it looks like it has pretty much everything that I would expect. Can use my bushing guide. It's got a nice lever, so that'll make it easy to control when I'm actually running it, and I just want to go a little bit deeper. You'll see me use this when I start the project here of building my next smart compact bench. You'll get to see me use this quite a bit. I'm going to start, after I get my pieces ripped and cut, I'm going to start by making new templates, and so you'll get to see me make those. And so I'll get to use this double duty. I'll use it to actually make the circles, so then I can use those to start and make my templates. And so I'll make videos on that. I'm not going to do a whole video on building the bench from beginning to end. I've done plenty of those. But I think when I'm doing some of the process, I will spend a little more time on showing you making templates. I think that's an area that I can expand on. I get a lot of questions on those areas. A little bit of normal, got the tools in 2 days. So if you go on Amazon and you see that it's a long way out there, maybe you'll get yours early as well. If you want to get yourself a set of plans to build yourself a smart wood shop or one of my workbenches, you can click on the link in the description of this video down below. It'll take you over to thesmartwoodshop.com. You go to my store there, you order the plans. As soon as you pay for them, you'll get an email and you'll be able to download them immediately. And then you'll have a PDF copy on your iPad or your computer or wherever you download it. It's there for you to print or just use your iPad like I do. If you like these videos, be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell so you'll know when I drop a new video, and share this channel with others. Thanks for dropping into the Smart Wood Shop. Stay safe and have a great day.